Yeah, I guess your deal didn't work out. Nice though.
To the Arc de Triomphe. Should be asking? Because the way I see it, it's Marquis. Hearing the boys in black cut it your way. My lips.
Fun.
The lottery. Side, almost out of time. So who out there is going to...
John? 9. Thanks.
Let's go, John.
Step aside.
I'm sorry. ¡Mátenlos a todos!
Sorry. Secure them.
Table will kill my father. Armed.
Middle.
Do your job.
My gift to you. Bisset. できるだけを。
I'm sorry.
Stayed out.
Let's get this shit over with.
That sounds like a good idea.
Same as you, John.
John.
$20億円同額。そしてJohn Wick監督が
Not enough.
Right, Koji. Then get out of here. Far away. Nothing. Hard to believe. Come on. Lost.
Eyes to see that.
Just take care of your daughter. Nice.
Killing those who cling to.
Those who cling to. Just bouncer.
Wait.
He didn't shoot.
That's fucking good.
You are. As are you and your daughter stated, Mr. Manager. Here now is concluded.
You owe me one.
Of course.
And if you came here thinking you could not change the outcome, who we are. The way John Wick will... I'm afraid.
Hey guys, today we're diving deep into the glorious chaos that is John Wick Chapter 4, a film so packed with stylish violence it practically drips cool. We'll break down every headshot, every car crash, and every impossibly high fall, giving you the lowdown on how our favorite dog-loving assassin tries to finally buy some peace. It's an action-packed, globe-trotting spectacle, and I'm here to guide you through the bullet-riddled madness. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. Our story kicks off, not with a bang, but with a very French, very intimidating Marquis Vincent Bisset de Gramont, who's basically the high table's new enforcer and a walking fashion statement of pure villainy. He strolls into the New York Continental, which, let's be honest, has seen better days since John started redecorating with bullet holes. The Marquis acting like he owns the place because, well, he kinda does now, declares the Continental deconsecrated, its sacred status revoked. Poor Winston, our dapper hotelier, watches as his life's work is quite literally blown to smithereens, reduced to rubble with a satisfyingly destructive boom. Adding insult to injury, the Marquis pulls out a pistol, and with a chilling click and a muffled thud, Karen, our beloved concierge and dog whisperer, is executed right in front of Winston. It's a gut punch, both for Winston and for anyone who appreciates a good dog-loving character. The silence after that shot is deafening, a stark reminder of the High Table's absolute, brutal authority. John, ever the Wanderer, surfaces in Osaka, Japan, seeking refuge at the High Table-controlled Continental there, a magnificent edifice of glass and steel. He's greeted by his old friend, Shimazu Koji, the manager, who has a kick-ass daughter named Akira. Koji, true to the Continental Code, welcomes John, knowing full well it's basically signing a death warrant for his establishment. They share a moment of quiet camaraderie, a silent understanding passing between two men who know the world they inhabit is unforgiving. But alas, peace is a fleeting concept when you're John Wick. The calm is shattered by the arrival of the High Table's forces, led by the perpetually suave and deadly Kane, a blind assassin who's basically the High Table's new John Wick. He's here on the Marquis' orders, ready to tear the place down to find John. The initial skirmishes begin, a flurry of shurikens and bullets signaling the start of an epic siege. The sound of high-caliber rounds pinging off marble columns fills the air, and the beautiful, minimalist decor of the Osaka Continental is about to become a very stylish war zone. The Marquis' forces, a relentless tide of tactical suits and automatic weapons, flood the Osaka Continental. It's like a corporate takeover, but with more katana slices and less paperwork. Akira, a whirlwind of martial arts grace and deadly archery, becomes a key player, her arrows whizzing through the air with a satisfying thwip, often finding their mark in some unsuspecting henchman's throat. She's not just a pretty face. She's a force of nature, moving with the fluidity of a dancer but the lethal precision of a sniper. John Wick, of course, is in his element, a ballet of bullets and bone-crunching takedowns. The clatter of spent casings on polished floors mixes with the groans of defeated assailants. He's using everything at his disposal: pistols, rifles, even a library book, probably turning the pristine hotel into a canvas of controlled chaos. The sound of shattering glass from display cases, the rhythmic thud-thud-thud of silenced weapons, it all creates this symphony of destruction. And let's not forget the sword fights. The metallic clang of blades colliding echoes through the grand halls, a sharp counterpoint to the gunplay. It's a gorgeous mess. Frankly, amidst the swirling chaos, Shimazu Koji confronts Kane in a beautifully choreographed katana duel. Koji, a master of the blade, fights with honor and fierce loyalty, his sword whizzing through the air with every swing. Kane, despite his blindness, moves with an almost supernatural awareness, his cane sword a blur of silver. The metallic shing of their blades clashing is music to a fight choreographer's ears. It's a dance of death, to masters pushing each other to their limits, their footsteps light and precise on the marble. Sadly, Kane's skill and the High Table's sheer numbers prove too much. In a heartbreaking moment, Kane delivers a fatal blow, the soft sight of Koji's breath leaving him a stark contrast to the violence around them. It's a poignant end for a loyal friend, a somber note in the symphony of destruction, and the kind of moment that reminds you that in this world, even the good guys often don't get a happy ending. Akira witnesses her father's death, fueling a deep, burning desire for revenge that promises future complications. As Koji draws his last breath, Akira's grief transforms into a cold, determined fury. She vows vengeance against Kane, her voice trembling but resolute, a new assassin emerging from the ashes of her father's demise. Meanwhile, John Wick, ever the pragmatic one, knows he can't save everyone. With a grim set to his jaw, he makes his escape, leaving the ravaged Osaka Continental behind him. His path out is, predictably, a gauntlet of more high-table goons. The cacophony of gunfire, the shattering glass, the grunt of exertion, it all follows him. He's a one-man wrecking crew, navigating hallways and stairwells, leaving a trail of unconscious or very permanently sleeping assailants in his wake. The soft thump of bodies hitting the ground is almost rhythmic. He disappears into the Tokyo night, a ghost in a dark suit, leaving behind a scene that looks less like a hotel and more like a very expensive demolition site. You'd think these guys would learn, really. Send in the high table, expect things to get broken. John's global tour of pain takes him to Berlin, a city renowned for its techno clubs and, apparently, its high-stakes criminal underworld. He tracks down Killa, a morbidly obese, gold-toothed German high-table boss who looks like he ate a small car and now runs a booming nightclub where you can apparently gamble away your life savings or your life, whichever comes first. The club is a sensory overload, pulsating bass, flashing strobe lights, the faint scent of stale cigarettes, and desperation. The sound system vibrates through your very bones, making every punch feel heavier, every gunshot more jarring. John needs Killa to re-enter the Sacré-Cœur crime family, a move that would allow him to challenge the high table's authority. It's convoluted, I know, but hey, it's the John Wick universe, and rules are, well, they're still rules, even if they're super intricate and deadly. John makes his way through the throngs of dancers and gamblers, a grim reaper in a suit, heading straight for Killa's VIP section. The tension in the air is palpable, thicker than the smoke hanging in the club. What follows is an absolute masterclass in creative combat. John faces Killa and his seemingly endless supply of henchmen, first on the dance floor, then in a room full of glass displays, and finally in a neon-lit, multi-story setup that looks like a deadly playground. The frantic rhythm of the techno music provides a bizarre, adrenaline-pumping soundtrack to the brutal ballet. John, ever resourceful, uses the environment to his advantage, turning light fixtures into bludgeons and ledges into launching pads. The sound of glass shattering, the thump-thump of bodies hitting various surfaces, and the muffled pops of gunshots create a constant, percussive symphony of violence. The fight culminates in a fantastic sequence in a ball pit. Yes, a ball pit. John, literally sinking and grappling through thousands of yellow plastic balls, still manages to dispatch his foes with ruthless efficiency. It's hilariously absurd and brutally effective all at once. The crunch of plastic balls underfoot and the muffled sounds of the struggle within add a unique auditory layer to the chaos. He's taking a beating, but he gives back even more, a true one-man army. Eventually, Killa, after a surprisingly resilient struggle, meets his end with a satisfying splat. Having dealt with Killa in a manner only John Wick can, he seeks out the matriarch of the Sacré-Cœur, the Oracle, to be reinstated. This is crucial for John to regain his family ties and leverage their influence against the high table. He has to jump through a few more hoops. Of course, because nothing is ever simple for John Wick. It involves a blood oath and a symbolic ritual, a moment of quiet solemnity after the preceding carnage. The process involves a new tattoo, a fresh mark of belonging etched onto his skin, a stark visual of his return to a forgotten past. This reinstatement is a huge step for John, as it allows him to formally challenge the high table under ancient laws, a duel. The Marquis, being the rule-obsessed villain that he is, can't refuse a formal challenge. It's a classic move, leveraging their own rules against them. The silence in the Oracle's chamber after the last whisper of the ritual is a brief respite, a calm before the inevitable storm of bullets and blades that awaits in Paris. News of John's challenge reaches the Marquis, who, predictably, is not amused. He's a man who likes to control everything, and John Wick is about as controllable as a rogue asteroid. The Marquis, with his usual theatrical flair, summons Kane, leveraging his daughter's life to force him into hunting John. This adds a layer of tragic tension to Kane's character. He's not just a bad guy, he's a reluctant pawn. The Marquis also brings in a mysterious bounty hunter known as the Tracker, or Mr. Nobody, and his trusty dog, offering a colossal bounty on John's head. It's a whopping sum, enough to make even the most morally flexible. John Wick lands in Paris, the city of love, fashion, and apparently incredibly stylish ways to kill people. He meets up with the Bowery King in a clandestine location, possibly a forgotten catacomb or a very chic sewer. The king, with his usual theatrical flair, provides John with new bulletproof suits because fashion is important. Even when you're being hunted by literally everyone, and an arsenal of custom weapons. The metallic click of magazines being loaded, the smooth feel of new leather, it's all part of the ritual. The king, ever the strategist, also provides information and a network of contacts because even John Wick needs a support team. Especially when the entire criminal underworld is trying to cash in on his head. The weight of the bounty is a constant presence, a whispering threat in every shadow. Every street corner, every bustling cafe could hide a potential assailant. The tension ratchets up another notch. It's a brief moment of calm strategizing before John is plunged back into the relentless fight for survival. The path to the duel isn't a stroll through a Parisian park. It's a full-throttle, tire-screeching, bullet-riddled gauntlet through the heart of Paris. John, in a modified car, finds himself embroiled in one of the most insane vehicular combat sequences ever filmed, right around the iconic Arc de Triomphe. It's a ballet of automotive mayhem, cars smashing into each other with sickening crunches of metal, tires squealing in protest, the constant bark of gunfire. John, ever the multitasker, is simultaneously driving, drifting, and accurately dispatching assailants from his window. The rapid-fire pops of his pistol are punctuated by the heavier thud-thud of shotgun blasts from his pursuers. He's weaving through traffic like a madman, using other cars as both shields and weapons, somehow managing to avoid innocent bystanders, mostly. The sheer audacity of the action here is breathtaking, a cacophony of destruction playing out against a backdrop of Parisian grandeur. Every turn is a trap, every straightaway a firing line. The sound design during this sequence is phenomenal, really selling the impact of every collision and bullet strike. The vehicular battle spills out into the massive, chaotic traffic circle surrounding the Arc de Triomphe. John, his car likely looking like a very expensive tin can, exits the vehicle and immediately finds himself in a swirling vortex of assassins, all eager to claim that massive bounty. It's a free-for-all, a human pinball machine where John is the ball, deflecting attacks and dishing out brutal counter-punches. The sounds are relentless, the whoosh of passing cars, the metallic clang of weapons, the sharp crack of his pistol, and the softer, more visceral squish of close-quarters combat. He's fighting with everything he has, using his environment, the flowing traffic, and sheer skill to survive. Every headshot is precise, every takedown economical. Kane is also present, moving like a phantom through the chaos, dispatching targets with his cane sword, adding another layer of deadly elegance to the brutality. Mr. Nobody, the Tracker, and his dog are also in the mix, observing, calculating, and occasionally intervening, with his dog proving to be a surprisingly effective combat companion. Its barks and growls adding to the primal intensity of the scene amidst the ceaseless barrage. The Tracker, Mr. Nobody, plays a fascinating role. He's not purely against John. He's playing the long game, carefully observing, occasionally intervening to keep John alive when he gets too close to death. because a dead John Wick can't earn him a bigger payday. It's a cold, calculated chess match. His dog is an absolute unit, a loyal, teeth-baring combat companion whose growls and sharp barks precede its vicious attacks on John's pursuers. The tracker's presence adds a layer of unpredictable tension. Is he friend or foe? The shifting alliances, the quick, almost silent interactions between John and the tracker create moments of intrigue amidst the deafening gunfire and explosions. You hear the distinct snap of his dog's jaws, the desperate yelps of the unfortunate souls it latches onto. It's a refreshing break from the usual everyone wants to kill John trope, adding a nice bit of strategic ambiguity to the relentless action. This is the kind of mercenary pragmatism that really makes the Wickverse tick dot as John pushes through the Parisian night, racing against time to reach the duel location before sunrise. He's constantly intercepted by Chidi, the Marquis' smug enforcer, and his seemingly inexhaustible supply of high-table soldiers. These aren't your average goons. They're well-trained, well-equipped, and relentless. Every street corner, every building, every tight alleyway becomes another battleground. The constant barrage of automatic fire, the deafening roars of John's guns, the crunch of his fists against bone. It's a relentless assault on the senses. The fights are raw, visceral, and incredibly efficient. John, though battered and bleeding, continues his seemingly impossible march, fueled by sheer will and a healthy dose of rage. The urban landscape of Paris becomes a brutal maze, each turn leading to another deadly encounter. You can almost feel the weariness in John's movements, the heavy gasps for air between each frantic exchange, yet he never stops. It's a testament to his unbreakable spirit, or perhaps just his stubborn refusal to die quietly. Then, we get perhaps one of the most visually distinctive and brutal sequences of the entire film, an extended, top-down shot of John Wick clearing an apartment building. It's like a hyper-violent video game, but with much better graphics and actual stakes. John is armed with a Dragon's Breath shotgun, which, for the uninitiated, basically turns every shot into a glorious, fiery blast, igniting enemies in a shower of sparks and flames. The distinctive thwoomph of the shotgun, followed by the guttural screams of his burning opponents, is a truly unique soundscape. The camera floats above, giving us a god's eye view of John methodically, brutally, clearing room after room. The apartment becomes a blazing inferno, bodies hitting the floor with dull thuds, the smell of burning fabric and flesh almost palpable through the screen. It's a breathtaking piece of action choreography and cinematography, a truly unforgettable sequence that solidifies John Wick's place in the pantheon of action movie legends. It's almost darkly humorous in its over-the-top execution, like, who designed these apartments with so many conveniently placed breakable walls? Just when you think John can't possibly take any more punishment, he reaches the base of the incredibly long, incredibly steep staircase leading up to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. Of course, it's not going to be easy. Chidi, ever the persistent annoyance, and his remaining goons are waiting. In a truly agonizing moment that makes you wince, John is hurled down the entire length of the monumental staircase, tumbling, bouncing, and scraping his way to the bottom. The sounds of his body hitting each stone step, the painful gasps, are almost too much to bear. It's a bone-jarring, stomach-churning descent. But this is John Wick. He's not one to stay down for long. With a groan and a grimace, he starts to climb back up, a seemingly impossible task. The ascent is another brutal gauntlet, a relentless uphill battle against gravity and a never-ending stream of assassins. Every step is a struggle, every punch a desperate effort. The exhausted grunts, the metallic clang of weapons, the heavy footsteps, all underscore the sheer physical toll of this final climb. It's not just a fight, it's a symbolic climb towards his ultimate fate. After what feels like an eternity of climbing, fighting, and generally defying death. John finally reaches the top of the stairs, battered, bloody, but still standing. Chidi, the Marquis' loyal henchman, makes his final, arrogant stand. It looks like John might finally be overwhelmed, but then a truly glorious moment occurs. The tracker, deciding his payday is now secured, unleashes his dog. And where does the dog aim? Directly for Chidi's nether regions, with a triumphant bark and a satisfying chomp. It's a beautifully executed bit of dark humor, a moment of unexpected levity in the midst of grim violence. The sharp yelp from Chidi, followed by John's perfectly timed headshot, brings an end to the annoying enforcer. The silence that follows is thick, broken only by John's heavy breathing and the dog's triumphant growls. It's a moment of teamwork, however brief and opportunistic. That allows John to finally get to the duel location with mere seconds to spare. As the first rays of dawn paint the Parisian sky, John Wick stumbles onto the Grand Esplanade, precisely on time for his formal high-table duel. This isn't just a fight, it's a ceremony observed by the Marquis, Winston, and various high-table representatives, all dressed in their finest, as if attending a very violent opera. The weapon of choice? Pistols, of course. The duelists, John and Kane, stand back to back, paces apart, the crisp morning air silent except for the chirping of birds. The tension is excruciating, the air thick with anticipation. You can practically hear the collective held breath of the onlookers. The rules are read, the stakes are clear, freedom for John or death. It's a classic standoff, a moment of stillness before the storm, pregnant with gravity and grim determination. The glint of their pistols in the rising sun is a stark, beautiful image, signaling the epic conclusion to John's long journey. The duel commences, and it's a tense, protracted affair, not just a quick draw. John and Kane, two legends of the underworld, trade shots across the expansive esplanade. The crack of the pistols echoes loudly in the dawn air, followed by the soft thud of bullets hitting their marks, as the duel reaches its climactic final round, John is severely wounded, barely able to stand. He takes his last shot, and then, with a heavy groan, collapses to the ground. The Marquis, believing John to be utterly defeated and dead, steps forward, a triumphant, self-satisfied smirk plastered across his face. He's so utterly convinced of his victory, so caught up in his own hubris, that he overlooks one crucial detail. John Wick always has one more trick up his sleeve, one more bullet. It's a classic villainous mistake, the kind that makes you want to cheer at the screen. The tension is almost unbearable. Winston, watching from the side, offers a subtle, knowing glance, a flicker of satisfaction in his eyes. The Marquis' swagger, his condescending tone as he addresses the dead John, just makes his inevitable downfall all the more satisfying. The silence, punctuated only by John's ragged breathing, hangs heavy in the air, a precursor to the final, definitive bang with an unexpected burst of strength and a final, defiant roar. John Wick raises his pistol and, with impeccable aim, fires the very last, unspent bullet directly into the Marquis' smug face. The crack of the shot is startlingly loud, cutting through the morning stillness, and the Marquis drops like a sack of bricks, his pompous reign instantly over. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated catharsis, a truly fist-pump-worthy scene. John has done it. He has won his freedom, not by dying, but by cleverly outmaneuvering the rules and exploiting the Marquis' arrogance. The look on Winston's face, a subtle nod of approval, says it all. The immediate aftermath is a stunned silence, followed by the quiet murmurings of the high-table representatives realizing they've been outplayed. John, finally free from the high table's endless pursuit, collapses, the weight of his long, brutal journey finally catching up to him. The sound of his heavy, relieved exhale is almost audible after the dust settles, After the final gunshot echoes into the dawn, John Wick is seen sitting on the steps of Sacré-Cœur. Severely wounded but alive, he watches the sunrise, a rare moment of stillness and quiet reflection for the Baba Yaga. The golden light washes over his battered face, a visual metaphor for a new beginning, a hard-won peace. The sound of the wind, the distant city noises, everything seems softer, gentler. He's finally free, but at what cost? The exhaustion is palpable, etched into every line of his face, in the slump of his shoulders. It's a poignant, reflective moment, a stark contrast to the relentless chaos that preceded it. Has he truly found peace, or is this just a temporary reprieve? The ambiguity lingers, a silent question hanging in the air. The long road he's traveled, paved with blood and bullets, has finally led him to this quiet, albeit painful, sunrise. The aftermath sees Winston reinstated as manager of the New York Continental, which is now being rebuilt, phoenix-like from its ashes. He's back in his office, his sanctuary, petting his new dog, a stark reminder of Karen and the cyclical nature of loss and renewal in this world. The Bowery King joins him, and they discuss John Wick, implying that John has finally found peace, perhaps even in death. There's a subtle smile on Winston's face, a hint of his masterful manipulation coming to fruition. It's a quiet, almost understated scene, a moment of reflection, and a nod to John's ultimate sacrifice. The hushed tones, the gentle rustle of papers, the soft thump of the dog's tail against the floor, all add to the melancholic sense of closure. It's clear that John's actions have reshaped the High Table's landscape, perhaps bringing a fragile balance, or at least a temporary truce. But in the Wickverse, nothing is ever truly final, is it? And for those who stuck around, a post-credits scene delivers a chilling tease. Akira, Koji's daughter, makes good on her promise, tracking down Kane in a bustling marketplace. The sounds of everyday life, the chatter of vendors, the soft clatter of goods, provide a stark contrast to the deadly intent in Akira's eyes. She approaches him with a silent, deadly precision, a knife hidden. The scene cuts just as she's about to strike, leaving us with a tantalizing cliffhanger. It's a powerful reminder that vengeance is a persistent force in this world, and no one truly escapes their past. The quick, decisive movements of Akira, the almost imperceptible shift in Kane's posture, speak volumes. The metallic glint of the knife, though brief, is enough to send a shiver down your spine. It's a perfect setup for future installments, assuring us that the cycle of violence, even with John Wick's apparent exit, continues to spin in this intricate, brutal world. The quiet intensity before the presumed strike is incredibly effective. The final scene brings us to a quiet, serene graveyard. Winston and the Bowery King stand before a simple headstone bearing the name John Wick. It's a somber, respectful farewell, a moment to reflect on the man, the myth, the legend. Winston's words are understated but profound, acknowledging John's journey and the peace he finally earned. The sound of birds chirping, the gentle rustle of leaves, creates a tranquil atmosphere, a stark contrast to the cacophony that defined John's life. The silence speaks volumes, a quiet eulogy for a man who just wanted to be left alone with his dog. His dog, still faithfully by his side, sits vigil. It's a touching, melancholic end to a saga of unparalleled action. John Wick's legacy will undoubtedly ripple through the underworld for generations, a testament to a man who, against impossible odds, fought for his freedom till the very end. This concluding image leaves us with a profound sense of an era's end, yet also the enduring spirit